Okay, hello everyone, my name is Trude Arnhart, this is Mother Palmar and Andrew Kuykendall. And today we're going to be talking to you guys a little bit about kind of a similar subject, except we did not focus in on their game specifically. We looked more at the industry and program potential as a whole. So what are we talking about? We're talking about Baylor's gaming specialization within the computer science department. Our approach to research was looking at industry growth and development, understanding Baylor's current program, and we did an interview, and opportunities for growth within it. And then the primary question throughout all of this we were trying to ask ourselves was, should Baylor be investing more into this program? And now you guys are going to hear more from Andrew about the industry as a whole and other developments at universities.
Sweet, thank you. All right, the first thing that stands out to me when I see this is that the video game industry actually is more profitable than the blockbuster films. The ones you see advertised everywhere, the ones you see commercials for, everything like that. I think that quote explains it a little well. I'll let you read that for a second. I'll just talk a little bit about the industry itself. So the video game industry has actually grown 7.2% annually for the past 6 years. Globally, it generates about $137 billion annually. And on top of all of that, the statistics have come out. They said that 67% of households in America own a video game console of some sort. It's really interesting. So, give a little background to this. Infinity War, actually, box office weekend generated about $237 billion roughly, or $1 million, sorry. To give a hindsight for it, Grand Theft Auto 5, a video game that came out in, I believe, 2013, generated over $800 million within the first 24 hours, and it exceeded $1 billion within 3 days of release. So it's incredible. Another graph, really interesting here. You'll see the big yellow bars. Those are actually video games. The green and the blue, that's the music and the movie industries. And that shows you just how big this market is currently, just globally and around the world. So the second aspect I looked at as well was what are other programs doing? So the most successful program currently in the nation is right in our backyard. It's actually SMU right up the road, about 90 minutes. That's the SMU Guildhall. So they've been ranked #1 by Princeton Review for the past 2 years. Every student within their program makes 3 commercially viable games by the time they graduate, and they have over 770 alumni and over 270 studios around the area. So one thing when I was looking at all these universities was kind of what are the commonalities of the great programs, and what aspects that we maybe think are important actually aren't in the long run. First one is that interdisciplinary studies is the most common denominator between successful programs. SMU has 4 different specialization options within them. They combine art, music, creative writing. They even include business in it as far as the production aspects of it go. And then also, of course, computer science. USC, University of Southern California, they combine their cinematic arts school with their computer science school. And then finally, University of Texas down in Austin. That was another program we looked at as well because there's a lot of gaming studios in Austin. They combine their arts and entertainment technologies with their computer science program. Second aspect that we looked at were that strong partnerships and the location are paramount to a successful program. So SMU, for example, is completely surrounded by gaming studios up in the Dallas area. Same opportunity lies with USC and the University of Texas. This allows major game studios to not only give in-kind donations and other rewards, fund scholarships, fund grants. It also has a larger pool to choose from. A lot of studios will give their professors the help weekly with different projects and different classes. And it also gives the students themselves more exposure to different studios and to other potential employment opportunities. Third one that I found actually really interesting is that the licensing option does not make a program successful. Give you 2 stark opposite programs. SMU are willing and completely willing to license out their games to third-party publishers. They have a whole aspect of their website about it. They have a whole program with it where if someone's interested in, let's say, a game or an idea of a game and their technology, they will license it and sell it out to them. USC, on the other hand, went the exact opposite route and actually in-house academically publishes their own video games. So we found that that was very interesting, that there's that two stark contrasts, but that both programs are extremely successful in their own right. And then this is an example of kind of what SMU does on how they pitch their IP and pitch their licensing to potential publishers. They have a whole YouTube video about it, like a trailer. You can download the game, test it out, and they give a little overview about what the game is and everything along those lines. And so with that, Mohit's going to talk next.
So I'm going to fill you in on why indie games, and like when it comes to building your own game like Baylor does now, it's not a large-scale game like Call of Duty, but it is smaller on scale, like what Minecraft was supposed to be. Minecraft blew up as this game that everyone now knows of. You just take blocks, put them together, and build universes. But now it's become much more. So some successful games, like the Portal series, was something that was founded at a university. Minecraft was just two guys come together, came up with this concept, put it into code, and it paid off. PUBG is something that's blowing up right now. Almost everyone knows what it is. It is a survival game on a map. And the Stanley Parable is another indie game. These are crazy successful games. The Stanley Parable is something that even I don't understand it. I watched the gameplay, I tried to play it, and I don't get it. You go in, you start playing this game, and it takes you from one scene to another, and you don't know what happened. And it looks like you're in a normal hospital 1 second, you're somewhere else 1 second, another second, and people love the fact that you could do that. And that game blew up. If you get the chance, I recommend it. This is the craziest one out of all of them. Shower with your dad simulator. So this started off as a joke. A guy straight up made a picture or a short video of a kid walking up to his dad in the shower and being like, "Oh, you found your right dad." And then it's like a quick game as to like who can get, how quick can you get to the dad the fastest. So it's like a bathroom. And there are 5-6 dads, and you have to find the right dad. And the quickest person to find the right dad is how many rounds you can go without making a mistake. That's all it is. Super Meat Boy is based off of Mario. It is this small little character that's going to save his girlfriend from falling in the fire, and he has many stages to go through to save her. And it just goes on and on and on. So we believe that their audiences resonate to the game a lot more than big games like Call of Duty, and those are the games that universities should be focusing on when it comes to producing and taking it large scale. So there are many revenue-friendly ways to get this out there. Like Andrew said, one of the ways is to have your own publishing in-house, and the advantage of having that is you have all these places that you can go directly to get your game out there. itch.io, for example, is an open source website that allows you to publish your indie games without any cost. There's a downside to it that it's not as, it doesn't have as much information as to who you sold your game to, that like Steam does, and you don't have all the facts and numbers and stuff like that, but it's the quickest way to get your game out there for free. Got Game Jolt, that is the biggest name, GOG, that's also really big in indie games, Humble Store, the Humble Widget, they work together. Humble Widget is like, you can have a website, this is really cool. On your own website, you can have a widget that allows people to buy the game off of you, and they only take 5% of the revenue that you get. And they let you publish your game on there, they host the game for you, they allow you to use that payment system and everything. Steam Greenlight is what people consider to be a pain in the industry. It's $100 to just get your game checked out, and then after that, if they believe that it is bug-free, they will let it go into the Steam store. But getting through that is a challenge for a lot of people. Steam has vowed to get rid of the system and come up with a new system that allows people that are making their own games to directly link to the Steam store rather than go through Steam's development center. So another thing that we thought of was Baylor's creating their own application. The challenge with that is that there's a lot of work that goes into it with coming up with your own software, payment systems, uploading up there, having servers to hold all the information. And we believe that with all these resources that are available, there is another way to get the games out there, and creating your own application is not something that would be commercially viable for a university. So when it comes to money, there's a lot of money in this industry. People are realizing, like he said, people are realizing that there's a lot of opportunity. Unreal, Indie Fund, Indicate Foundation, CryEngine. So when it comes to Unreal and CryEngine, they were both engine manufacturers that said, okay, if you use our engine, we'll give you money. So if Baylor can participate as a university with them without any direct link or direct contract saying that, okay, we'll make games under your software, under your engine, and use your development grant to get it out there. When it comes to the Indie Fund and the Indicate Foundation, they're basically funds that will help you get the money to build your game, and then they will take it back down the line. Now I'm going to pass it on to Truett.
Cool. So this is a recent project group within our program. This is just kind of give you guys an idea of what it currently looks like, and I hope that these numbers are somewhat accurate. But from what we can tell, you have about 8 desktops in the room. It's a pretty small room. They've got 2 current students that are committed to the gaming specialization within the computer science department. However, there are other non-gaming specialized computer science majors helping out and developing. They also have additional volunteers that are non-computer science majors that don't get school credit for helping out, but do get to put work on the project on their resume. And this could be a graphic design artist, a musician. They've got others helping in those capacities. So who are we targeting? Well, right now we're targeting incoming Baylor students that know they're coming to Baylor and have an interest in gaming, or current Baylor students that are interested in computer science and have a newfound interest in gaming and want to get involved. Current faculty that are interested in teaching it. Necessary partnerships for outside exposure, as we attempt to do in every program that we have here. And friends and family interested in beta testing. So looking forward, before I can answer this, we're gonna have this come over. We're gonna try to understand the incentives going on here. So the current incentives that we gather from the student developers are to build their resume, to be able to put that on there and say, I know what I'm doing, I'm ready to go into this industry. Continue their degree, they're trying to get good grades, so that's obviously one of the incentives they're trying to meet. And practical experience in the game design world and in teamwork in general. Baylor's incentives. Baylor's trying to, in all they do, they're trying to earn prestige and recognition, recruit top faculty and students, additional funding for research and program development, and to equip students to go out into the world as leaders. So we're looking right now at Baylor video game design academic development. We're talking about taking this program and scaling it up by an order of magnitude, not just a software improvement. So that we can prepare students to enter the gaming workforce. So the idea here is that we would improve infrastructure to gain more students. We'd have a greater space, faster processing with greater technology, more faculty with gaming industry backgrounds that we can bring in, hopefully, with deeper understanding across all the related subjects. And so you'd have like a big open space. This is a picture of a general gaming studio that I found that I thought kind of illustrated the stark contrast between the last picture and this one. So opening doors, as we mentioned earlier, to special studies and partnerships with other departments and programs at Baylor. So the idea here is that you bring in business to do research on what makes indie games successful, more so than what we've done right now. But each semester to look at what are the changing trends and how can we be involved. Art, creative writing, music, partnering with each one of these programs in order to engage the current students. Another interesting opportunity I found, one campus labeled under their athletics department esports. I know that probably won't happen for some period of time.
It's existed for 2 years.
Okay, I lied. That is cool. I did not do enough research into esports. I just found it and stuck it on there, but I'm glad you tossed that in. But expanding that then, growing our esports and maybe even partnering with them for beta testing the games that we develop. They mentioned something called the testing feedback loop, where they have to continually test the game in order to know how to improve it. And games take a lot of time. So these are all opportunities to not only engage more students, but to increase the efficiency with which we produce and develop games and their quality. So back to who are we targeting, looking forward.
We're way over.
Oh, yeah. So
Can you wrap?
yeah, I can wrap it up. I had this slide, which I just thought was cool. Baylor endeavors to educate men and women in worldwide leadership. And that includes all industries, especially ones that are taking over, that are just massive. There's a Bible verse there. It's just about us being the light. And you guys are familiar with this campaign. I just thought it was really cool for the mission of expanding this program. So that was the last slide. Y'all can read it. Thank you guys for listening.
Sure. Thank you.